Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And today we have what if Naruto could take abilities from other anime. So let me explain this real quick, cause yeah, that's a pretty blunt explanation. And also, never mind, I forgot what I was going to say already. How stupid of me, I am an idiot. But the abilities I want to explain is basically um when Naruto is like feeling down, or like when he's like really wants to train and get stronger, and he starts training, he can like think of like a some ability. I'm stuttering way too much. I don't know what is happening, but yeah, he'll. But like when Naruto's like training and he like thinks of an ability, he will be teleported to the anime that has that ability or closest to the ability. And basically when he touches the person who has that ability, he'll like gain their supernatural abilities. Like Goku, he will later gain some things Goku has. I'm talking about Kid Goku, not adult Goku. He's not just gonna grab He's not just gonna grab Super Saiyan as a child. That is a bit OP. He would demolish anyone who came into his path with Super Saiyan. So, you know, so like, let's say he like gets the Saiyan gene. He'll obviously grow a tail. His hair won't turn black because he'll only be half Saiyan. And you know, he will have to train and get Super Saiyan the normal way. So, and I'll most likely give him false Super Saiyan, not normal Super Saiyan first. But anyways, let's get straight into this. So we started off with Kushina giving birth, and the masked man takes Naruto, and Minato seals the 9 tails inside of him. Everything goes as normal in that. I'm sorry, I'm just doing this really blunt because I find that part really boring, especially since literally in every Naruto what if I am gonna have to do it, I would have to do it, like super long, like 10-minute explanation for that. When everyone knows what happens. I'm only probably gonna do that if something major changes, but yeah, everything goes as canon in terms of that. And basically, let's time skip to 6 years later when Naruto is 6. He's in the academy, and he just gets out of the academy, and he starts training. He starts doing push-ups and stuff, and just wonders if like there was any formation of not of I almost said Naruto, but like if there's any like mutations of chakra, He starts wondering something like that, and he wonders like if he'll be able to like I don't know, lift a building or something one day, if he'll get that strong. And it motivates him to get that strong. And that's when he closes his eyes and opens them, and he just sees that he is at some strange place with he's on a small little island with a pink house that says Comet House on it. He doesn't know where he is, so he goes to it and knocks on the door. An old man answers it. Yeah, who are you, kid? And how'd you get here? I am Naruto Uzumaki, and I don't know how I got here. Well, I'm Master Roshi. Anyways, we're gonna have to find a way to get you back home. I'm not gonna do it though. This is when a strange boy with a weird spiky black hairstyle and a tail runs up. Master Roshi, who is it? And another small boy, shorter, comes up, slightly shorter, walks up behind him. Yeah, Master Roshi, who is it? Oh, it's a strange boy who just appeared at my doorstep. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and you are? Oh, I'm Son Goku, and I'm Krillin. Oh god, I don't know, I just don't really like Krillin. But yeah, this is when they're training with Master Roshi. And like this is like the day before they go to the Big Island. And something I also forgot to explain is that Naruto, when he goes to these dimensions, he can be there from a time span of 2 hours all the way up to 2 days. You know? And basically, he'll say, Naruto will say, oh, well, it's nice to meet you, but I don't know where I am. And Goku and Krillin are 12, and keep in mind Naruto is 6. So, he's pretty younger than him. 6 years younger, actually. And um, Goku goes up to, feel Naruto there, if you know what I mean, to see if he's a boy or a girl. And right as he's about to do that, Naruto like backs up and says, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm trying to find out if you're a boy or a girl." Or that's a extremely weird way to do that, but I'm a boy. "Ooh, well, it's nice to meet you. I'm Goku." And Goku raises his hand up for a high five, and Naruto gives him a high five. That's when Naruto just feels something. Yes, Naruto is inheriting the Saiyan gene, like I hinted at earlier, and a few other abilities. This is when, you know, Goku, they'd be having dinner at this point, so Master Roshi would invite Naruto in to eat dinner with them. I can't believe I forgot her name, but that one girl with split personalities, yeah, she, um, she ends up sneezing and splitting personalities. That's when she ends up shooting all of them, and surprisingly, the bullets just bounce off of Naruto, just like they do Goku. Yep. This is when, she switches back from the gun smoke, and he ends up sleeping. When he wakes up, he sees he has a brown tail. Sorry about that. But when he wakes up, he sees he has a brown tail. And basically, Goku sees he has a tail, and he's like, "Hey, you have a tail like me." And Naruto says, "Yeah, I didn't know. Is this a prank? And why do you have a tail? I forgot to ask. It's kind of weird. Are you some monkey kid or something?" "Hey, that's mean." "No, I'm a normal human just like you. My name's Goku." "Oh, well, I'm not." Oh god. Yeah, he didn't say my name's Goku. Sorry, I just got, carried away. But yeah, this is when Krillin wakes up. "Hey, what are you guys doing? And why does he have a tail too now?" This is when Krillin goes to yank on the tail to see if it's, taped on or anything. That's when Naruto just, screams in pain, "Ow!" and punches Krillin. Krillin ends up getting punched through the wall. And let's say Krillin was not a fan of that. So Krillin ends up trying to punch him again, but he ends up feeling like he just punched metal. So after all of that, he goes down and sees, Master Roshi. Master Roshi is surprised that he suddenly grew a tail and says, "Kid, take it off. I know it's just some type of weird prop." This is what Naruto says, "Surprisingly, no." That's when Master Roshi goes to yank on it, and Goku just says, "No, don't do it. It hurts. It's real. Krillin already tried it." What? That's when Krillin says yes as he walks back through the hole in the wall. That's when the girl split personalities, starts cooking breakfast. But right before she does, Master Roshi gets everyone to go on a boat and head to a new island after putting the house back into a capsule. And Naruto says, What is that? Some type of jutsu?" "What? No, it's not a jutsu. It's just the capsule." "It's a capsule. You don't know what a capsule is, kid. What, have you been living under a rock for the past 6 years?" That's when Naruto says, "Hey, that's me." And right as everyone gets on a boat, Goku just yells Nimbus, and a yellow cloud comes. So that is when Naruto thinks it's cool, and he tries yelling it too. At first it doesn't work, but then he yells it twice. Yells it again as loud as he can, and a Nimbus ends up coming. This is when Roshi is just extremely surprised, and he's like, "What the hell? You have a Nimbus?" And Naruto says, "No, I just yelled it too, and it appeared." This is when Naruto jumps on top of the cloud and says, "Wow, this is cool." And then he points at the boat and says, "Follow that boat, Nimbus." And that is when it starts going. Alright, to sum it up, here's everything Naruto got. He basically just got the ability to call the Nimbus, and then the Saiyan gene, and then he also has, I forgot what it's called. Oh yeah, Ki. He also has Ki. I hinted at that because I wonder if there's a mutation of chakra or something similar to it. Yeah, that. Sorry, there's dogs barking at cars outside my neighborhood, so sorry if you hear them. But yeah. This is when Naruto ends up falling asleep on the Nimbus while it's following the thing, and then he wakes up and he's at the place with Goku trying to wake him up on his Nimbus. They jump off, and then Goku says, "Hey, what if Master Roshi trained you to be his pupil?" "What? What do you mean?" "You see, me and Krillin over here are training under Master Roshi to get stronger. So what if you do it too?" I mean, I guess. I'm always down to get stronger." This is when Master Roshi says, "No, I'm not gonna train another one." But that's when they all say, "Please." And after hours of begging, they eventually agree. Master Roshi eventually agrees. And after he agrees, they go on the normal milk trip. And, Goku and Naruto end up bonding because they both have a tail. And they're both abnormally strong. So, they end up bonding and becoming good friends. And they hear about the, World Martial Arts Tournament. They all go home and go to sleep. And when they wake up, Naruto's just disappeared. Actually, no. Naruto ends up touching Goku. No, they all wake up and Naruto asks, "Hey, what's that staff?" And Goku says, "Oh, it's my I forgot what it's called, bro. It's been a while since I've watched the OG series of Dragon Ball, and it's been a while since I watched Dragon Ball Z. Forgot what it's called. I'm just gonna call it an extendo staff." And he says, "It's my extendo staff." And Naruto's like, "Ooh, cool. What does it do?" And then this is when Goku says, "Staff extend," and it just extends. I'm sorry, I cannot talk. It just extends, and after it extends, it extends. Naruto's like, "Oh, cool," and he goes to grab onto it, and that's when, poof, another one appears. He's like, "What the heck?" That's when Goku just says, "Oh, I'm tired." And he ends up just laying down on the floor and going to sleep. Naruto's like, "What? It's literally the morning." That's when Krillin says, "Oh, this is just normal Goku." And then Naruto's like, "Well, might as well join him." And when Naruto wakes up, he's back at the training. He's back at the training grounds where he was training. This is when he goes to walk back to his house, and an Ambu member sees him, and he's just like, "Wait, is that Naruto? Finally, we found him." He goes and grabs Naruto and says, "Naruto, we need to take you to the Hokage urgently." This is when he ends up at the Hokage's office, and the Hokage's like, "Naruto, where have you been?" And Naruto's just like, "I don't know. I just was at some random island with an old man and a boy and two boys and a girl." Okay. But why do you have a tail? "Oh, I don't know. I just touched one of the boys. I just touched one of the boys, and his name was Goku. And I don't know. Next day I grew a tail, and now I'm really strong." "What do you mean really strong?" Follow me." They go outside, and there's a giant boulder. Naruto picks it up and then throws it 10 meters. This is when Hiruzen's like, "What the heck? Is that some type of jutsu?" "Nope, it's just strength." This is when Hiruzen says, "Oh wow, that is very surprising." He ends up seeing the tail, and he tries to tug on it, thinking that it was just an accessory. It ends up hurting Naruto really bad, and he keeps tugging on it, and it ends up making Naruto pass out. He's like, or no, it doesn't make him pass out. He just gets really tired. He's like, "Oh, so it's real?" Naruto just says, "Yeah." And after this, we are going to have another time skip to when Naruto is 12. He ends up getting on the sorry. He ends up getting. He ends up not being able to control his chakra enough to commit the to. It's been a while since I've done a Naruto. What if? God dang. Transformation jutsu. He can't hold it off, so he ends up getting failed by Eureka. This leads to him getting convinced that by Mizuki to steal the scroll of sealing, and he ends up learning the shadow clone jutsu and the multi-shadow clone. This is when, Mizuki pulls up and says, "Hey yo, Naruto, give me that scroll." And Naruto just says no. And this is when, Mizuki tells him all about the Nine Tails, and tells them that he's nothing but a monster. This is when he goes to throw his giant shuriken at him. Naruto's just standing there in shock, but this is when Iruka jumps in front of it and takes the hit. Naruto just gets really, really mad, and he ends up jumping in rage, and does the multi-shadow clone jutsu, surprising Iruka. And he ends up just, doing them after he does the multi-shadow clone. He ends up just pummeling, absolutely tearing this man up, bro. This man, I mean, if this was an anime, bro, he'd be dead. But anyways, he ends up beating Mizuki up, and Iruka gives Naruto a headband. This is when the next day they meet up with Kakashi and they say their dreams on the roof. And after they do that, Naruto is just really hungry. So he ends up going down and eating at Ichiraku Ramen. He eats a whole bunch of ramen, I'd say about 20 bowls. And Ichiraki, and after that he goes out because I'm pretty sure there's like a week between the time of the Land of Waves arc and this. I'm pretty sure it's like a week or a month. I forgot which one. I think it's month actually. But yeah, the next day he meets up at the place they were supposed to meet up, and they end up starting to take the bell test. Kakashi explains what the bell test is, and then Sasuke actually sees, after they all hide, Naruto runs out really fast, and it kind of surprises Kakashi how fast he is, but he doesn't really pay too much attention to it, and he ends up dodging it. Naruto's punch ends up going straight into the ground, and it ends up making a massive crater. This is when Kakashi, as a sweat drops out down his face, says, "Wow, I really could have died." This is when he closes his book and puts it down, and ends up using the 1,000 years of death on Naruto, sending him straight back into the bushes. Surprisingly, right next to Sasuke this time. This is when he almost convinces Sasuke to work with him, but Sasuke ends up running out. He ends up convincing Sakura to work with him though, but Sakura says only if they can convince Sasuke. They never do, and they end up getting their butts kicked by Kakashi. But they end up feeding Naruto, and they all pass with that amazing, powerful speech from Kakashi. And they're all dismissed. This is when Naruto goes home, starts eating, and this time it's a big chunk of meat. Yep, just like Goku and Luffy. It's a big chunk of meat. And after that big chunk of meat, he ends up going to bed because he's tired. And after he goes to bed, he wakes up in some random room. There's a whole bunch of posters of this weird blonde guy with his hair standing up like a rabbit. Yep, you know who this is. Oh, I forgot to mention before Naruto was asleep, he started thinking of, a power that would make him super fast and even stronger. Yep, you know what universe this is. He ends up waking up on the floor and walking out of the room to see a hallway. He walks down the hallway and ends up seeing a woman with green hair, and she's kind of short, with a boy who looks to be 14, with also green hair, who's standing there getting ready for school. Naruto says, "Hey, do you guys know where I am?" This is when Inko and Izuku Midoriya scream, "Yep, my hero." And let's just say he might be getting more than one power in this. Actually, no, never mind, no. He ends up seeing Izuku, and just so you know, this is after he gave his quirk, and he's actually heading out to go to the entrance exams. Actually, no. He's heading out to go to UA, because he already passed the entrance exams, and it's the first day. So they end up saying, what is a little 12-year-old doing here? This is when Inko says, "Izuku, is he one of your friends?" This is when Izuku says no. And Inko ends up throwing a pot at Naruto. It just bounces off his head and lands on the ground. Naruto scratches his head and says, "Ow, that kind of hurt." This is when they're both just screaming now, thinking he has some type of, I don't know. I forgot what it was called. Some, super durability quirk or something. And this is when Izuku just starts pulling out his notebook and writing down, like, the things of his quirk. And this is when Naruto's just like, hey, that's not fair. Shadow Clone Jutsu. And this is like when Izuku's like, what? He can make clones? What the? And he, just, they talk it out, and they found out that Izuku just appeared here. Doesn't know why. Ingo gives him breakfast, and Izuku offers to take him to UA to see maybe why he's here. After that, they high five, and Izuku says, also, if you can tell me more about your quirk, that'd be awesome. But after they high five, Izuku just sees, Naruto glow with his veins turn red, like him when he uses One For All. And this is when he's like, is that One For All? He mumbles to himself. Naruto says, what's One For All? Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Okay. So, what's this UA place? Oh, it's a high school. Oh. Okay, I don't know what a high school is, but, sure. Let's go. So, what's a quirk? What do you mean? I don't know what a quirk is. Really? Where have you been? To not know what quirks are? Oh, wow. Where do you come from? The Hidden Leaf Village. And by the way, where is this place? Is this the Hidden Stone? Or maybe the Hidden Cloud? No, this is, I forgot the city he lives in, so I'm just gonna say it's Tokyo. This is Tokyo. What the? Where the heck's Tokyo? Don't know. Well, they arrive at UA, and Izuku enters class, and everyone just sees a 12-year-old kid, and they're like, hey, Izuku, who the heck's that? This is just some random kid with a whole bunch of quirks. And this is, the day of the thing, so All Might pulls Izuku of the test thing with All Might. So All Might pulls Izuku aside and says, what do you mean a whole bunch of quirks? All Might thinks, could he possibly be related to All For One in some way? And this is when, All Might goes outside and tells Izuku to demonstrate. Izuku just, punches the ground, making a crater. He jumps really high. He ends up, he says, Nimbus! And jumps on the flying Nimbus, flies around for a bit. This is also when he uses the multi-shadow clone jutsu and starts playing around. And All Might is really starting to wear it here, thinking this is like some kid related to All For One. So he asks him where he comes from. He says, the Hidden Leaf Village. I don't know what Tokyo is, but I guess this is where this is. Yep. This is when he goes to try and push past his limits when he punches the ground again. But this time, the reason he can handle One For All without his body exploding is because, come on, if he can literally take bullets and they bounce off of him, and he's strong enough to punch giant craters in the ground, oh boy, don't tell me he can not take All For One. One For All. So this is when, he ends up trying to push past his limits when he punches the ground. And, this time, All Might and Izuku noticed the, red veins and glowing arm. And All Might's like, could that be One For All? This is when he punches the ground and his arm breaks. And after his arm breaks, they're like, oh, yeah, no doubt about it. That's One For All. They take him to Recovery Girl. She heals him and says, I don't know who this kid is, but take better care of him. Come on now, his arm's broken. And after that, she ends up saying, or they end up leaving, and they Mizuki crosses by Gran Torino, and he's walking with All Might. All Might gives a tip, or Gran Torino gives a tip to All Might, to spread it through his body, to spread one for all through Mizuki's body, and not Deku. Naruto tries that, and he activates full cowling for half a second, or not for like 2 seconds, and then Gran Torino's like, "Is this the boy you gave one for all to?" No, he seems to appear to have one for all. Interesting. This is when, Naruto ends up just walking along, and he ends up falling and getting knocked out, and after he gets knocked out, boom. He's back into the not My Hero, the Naruto verse. And he ends up heading to the point, and after the next day, they complete a small mission, and they end up going to the Hokage, so the mission's complete, and getting the Land of Waves arc mission. This is where I'm going to leave it off. Yep, it is 31 minutes. It is definitely time to leave it off. Thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.